Hey guys, what's up? This is Dan here with GrapevineRecording, and thank you very much for tuning into this video today. So let's get right into it. I want to talk today about gear bags, whether that's a camera bag, audio bag. It's just something I'm super interested in. I'm going to be showing you some of the camera bags and equipment bags that I use, how I organize it and things like that. There are two reasons why I want to do this. First of all, I'm always super interested in like the workflow and the things that people have in their gear bags. You know, a gear bag is meant to be kind of pick up and go and you're kind of ready. I use it as kind of, one as like a storage medium, but I always try and keep it as organized as possible so I can just pick up my bag and get going. And second of all is because I'm about to do a bit of an upgrade on the equipment that I use, and these bits of equipment that I've had that I've got organized that I'm going to show you is kind of what I've used up to this point, and now kind of seems to be a nice little middle ground where I can show you guys what I use, how I organize it, and then in the coming weeks when I've gone through my upgrade, I'm going to be able to show you what I've moved into. So hopefully this is going to be something that you are going to enjoy. Obviously, I presume all you guys have got your own variants of what equipment bags and what gear you use and how you store it and things like that. So if anyone's got any comments or any suggestions, please leave them down below. So let's jump right into it. We're going to talk first of all about my complete OG bag. Let me go and get that for you. The first bag I ever used for any of my audio equipment is this bag right here. I'm going to be showing you some B-roll just so, you know, it's not all out of focus. But this is a Mad Catz bag. It originally housed my Game Boy Color way back when. It's even got this cool little keyring type thing that it won't focus into, sadly. So I'll show you in closer detail. That's got Dan written on it that I got when I was about, 11, something like that. And this has served me very, very well indeed. Opening the bag up, you can see that at the moment it's just housing my H4n. But what's tremendous about it is that it's pretty much a perfect size for the H4n. And alongside this, I used to just keep the fairies and like the little handheld Rycot stabilizer grip thing. I used to keep a couple of little tripods in here and a couple of cables and whatnot. So as great as that bag was, it served me really well. One of the next big upgrades I got was a shotgun microphone and a Rode Blimp. Please bear in mind as well that some of this stuff I might not actually be able to show you just because I am physically using them right now to make this video. So the first microphone I got, first shotgun microphone, was the Rode NTG2. You have seen it a lot before. I'm using it right now to talk to you. And it came in this kind of bag. So zipping it open used to just house the NTG2 and its little foam filter. I also bought the Dead Cat to go with it. So basically that now, well, forever used to just live inside this pouch. Microphone used to just slide in. That would zip up and I would have to then keep this somewhere else. Of course, with the Blimp is huge. The Blimp doesn't really fit in a lot of rucksacks and whatnot to keep it safe and secure. So what I ended up doing is, in our house, we had this kind of like a carry-on luggage bag for when we went on holiday. And we basically took that everywhere with us. I commandeered it because it was the perfect size to fit the Blimp. So the Blimp and the pistol grip could fit inside this, no problem. A lot of the time I would keep the NTG2 housed inside the Blimp just so I could take it out, plug in an XLR and get going. And then that would also allow me to place my NTG2, if it wasn't already in the Blimp, in its pouch on top of it, as well as my HD25 Sennheiser headphones inside their little pouch as well. And of course the Mad Catz OG bag to house me H4n. And to be honest, that's basically what I've had ever since I started. It's a simple bag, it works, it's not great, but it was allowing me to keep me Blimp safe and secure. It was allowing me to keep it all in one place. I could just lash that in the car if I was going anywhere. The problem was that it was a little bit not purpose built for that kind of process. That it was just one zip. It was terrible in the rain. And to be honest, I just wanted something that was a little bit more accessible when I was out and about, that I could just, you know, quickly have access to things without me having to stop, unzip, look at stuff, figure out what I wanted, and then set it all up and go from there. So then we move on to bag number 2. Now, bag number 2 only came about mainly when I bought this camera. So I got the EOS 700D by Canon. That's what I'm using now. It's just got the kit lens on, Video Mic Pro that I use for sync, but it's pretty standard. I haven't invested a hell of a lot of money into this camera just because it's, you know, this this is pretty fine for what I need it for. But last Christmas, a grandparent bought me this little number, which is a Jura Gadget backpack for DSLR cameras. I think we got it from Amazon. Very simple, very straightforward. It's got a load of pouches. With it being a camera bag, you can adjust a lot of the panels to make it fit right. And basically, this was like my storage for my camera. It lived in my room mainly. I took it out with me at times, and it just allowed me to keep everything in. So at the top here, we have my filters. So it's got some ND filters, some polarizing filters and whatnot. They stay in a nice little bag. I usually keep the Canon battery charger up there as well. I usually have a spare 9-volt battery for the Video Mic Pro. The camera, the Video Mic Pro itself also lived in this, as well as the camera body. The lens used to flip the lens would unattach and sit in one of the pouches, and also I have an old Olympus OM system 50mm 1.8 with the Canon adapter on the back. That sometimes sits on the front there, but again, I'm not really a photographer, so I don't have a massive use for it. Intervalometer for whenever I record any time lapses. So every now and again, as you saw in some of the old videos, I had a time lapse. I would use an intervalometer for that. It's not the Canon one, because that was super expensive. This was very cheap off eBay. Works a treat. And then what's great, because it's got a front zip, inside the front zip was the waterproof cover, a couple of little LED covers for the fill light that I use, and basically that's about it. So this bag was great. It was a great upgrade onto the other one. It also allowed me to have a dedicated safe place for my camera. Obviously, I spent a little bit of money on the camera, so I don't want it just lying about, getting knocked over. I wanted to keep the lenses in somewhat decent condition, even though they're not the world's greatest lenses by any stretch of the imagination. I just wanted a nice compact area where it was purpose-built, you know, purposely bought for the camera. I knew that all camera equipment was going to be inside this bag. I knew all audio equipment was going to be inside that bag, and it was just a very simple way for me to organize my equipment. I know where everything is. I know that everything's going to be charged. If I need the cable for the Video Mic Pro, or if I need to find the Canon battery charger or the H4n power adapter, I knew where it was. But once again, this bag had its own limitations. It was a rucksack, so if I was out, you know, traveling, if I was on a train, you know, if I was out in the world and I saw something that I wanted to take a picture of, I'd have to stop. I'd have to unzip my bag. I'd have to get my lens out, take the lens cap off, put it on, get ready, take a picture. It took a while, and it just wasn't ideal. It wasn't ideal. Plus, at this point, I also realised that I'm going to be doing a big audio upgrade. So I was like, I might be able to kill two birds with one stone here. I'm going to try and get a bag and build a bag-like system where I can keep everything in one place. And basically, I was looking on Amazon, and I found the Amazon Basics large DSLR bag. It's a monster. It's a monster of a bag. Again, there are limitations that I'm going to get to in a minute. But now I had a pretty decent all-in-one bag that I could keep audio equipment in, camera equipment in, and because it was also like a traditional DSLR bag, it just had a little clip. It's just a clip that you can go, and you're there. That's it. You can just walk, unclip, and you're good to go. So that was great. That was a phenomenal little upgrade for me. Again, on the inside, you've got various little pouches that you can, you know, dividers and whatnot that you can build, so you can have the most amount of space. You could dedicate your own little space for, you know, certain equipment, so everything had its own compartment. It was all snug. It wasn't going to rattle around when you moved, which is an absolute plus. So inside this bag, I keep the basics. I have my camera with the lens attached. I have, again, my H4n. I have a battery pack. So this is just like a 5-volt battery power bank that you use to charge your iPhone or whatever when you're out. I'm going to do a full video on this, but you can get a USB to DC barrel connector which fits the H4n. Clever, so you're not using batteries. I also have my small tripod for the H4n. I have the Rycott grip and windshield system for the H4n. In the top here we have the USB wire for the H4n to connect it to computers and whatnot. I have plenty of spare batteries. There is a hell of a lot of pockets. There's a huge front pocket here which I keep a notepad, an XLR cable, spare batteries, pens and pencils. In the side we have the power cable for the H4n, and on the front you can attach another little tripod that you can take with you. I usually have the camera tripod, but again, I'm using it. So this has been a massive step. This has been a massive step forward, and for me this now rounds out my initial phase 1 of my gear. Although I am going to be upgrading, I'm keeping this system as it is because, again, it's got negatives. That's absolutely fine. There are some negatives in there. For example, I can't keep the camera with the lens and the Video Mic Pro all connected at once if I want to include, you know, me H4n and whatnot, just because there isn't enough space. But what it is great at is, I'm going to name this bag Jack. Because it is a jack of all trades, it really is. It allows me to keep the H4n and the essential equipment for the H4n that I need to operate it. It allows me to keep my camera and the essential equipment that I need to operate the camera. Of course, the H4n can fit in there, just not attached. So if there was ever a time where I wanted to attach the H4n, I would still have to, not the H4n, sorry, the Video Mic Pro. I would still have to build that, but that's absolutely fine. That's just a nice addition. It isn't essential for operation. But the main problem that I've found is that the trusty NTG2 pouch now does no longer fit inside. It's such a shame. It's so close. I'll show you how close it is to fitting perfectly, but it just doesn't fit. But I watch a guy called DSLR Video Shooter, and he has a similar camera bag by Canon, has a similar microphone like the NTG2, and has a very similar problem, which that it just doesn't quite fit. But there's a nice little workaround that he does, which I'm probably going to implement at some point. It basically means you just attach, you know, on the top of the handle, you just attach a little area there that you can slide the pouch in, and that works fine. Again, it's a little bit snug when I'm putting my headphones in, but it does work. It does work pretty well. So that's now my main. If I'm going out somewhere, I don't quite know what I need, but there might be some photos to take, might be some video to shoot, there might be some audio to capture. I can just grab that because it kind of covers all bases. As I say, it's a jack of all trades, master of none, but that's perfectly fine for what I need right now. But the remaining problem is that I still don't have a brilliant solution for the Blimp. The Blimp is still living inside of the carry-on holiday bag that whenever we go away, the family argue because they need it to take stuff away, but the Blimp lives in there. That's still kind of like the next main step that I can fix. I've looked at a couple of bags. I was thinking about like a rugged tool bag, you know, like with a metal handle on. It's a big thing. It's about an inch too small for what I need for the Blimp, which is a pain, but there's a way that we can do it. We can definitely figure that out. And you know, to be honest, this is what I love. I love the fact that we've made it work. You know, it's absolutely fine. It's now all in one place. I can lift it up, I can go. If I know that I'm not going to be using the bag for an extended amount of time, or if I know that basically the camera isn't, I'm not going to need to take a camera with me, or I'm not going to need to take the H4n with me, or something like that, I can just remove the camera from the bag, put it in its own purpose-built storage camera bag. If I don't need the H4n, I can take that out, put it back in its OG Mad Catz place. And so there's kind of like a storage place for everything and an in-use place for everything, which is great. And the thing that I love is that this will stay. As I said before, this will stay for whenever I upgrade. You know, I'm looking at upgrading to one of the Zoom big, either the F8 or the F4. I'm definitely going to go up to one of them. I'm definitely going to be getting a new bag for that, you know, one that is more rugged for field recorders. Probably going to be the Zoom bag that they actually make. Might get something like that. That'll then house, you know, the F8, whatever one I get. That'll house that permanently. They'll have all the essential operations will go into that, but this jack bag will always be there. It'll always house me H4n in the future, and even though I'll move on to something else, that is one bit of kit that I will always have, and I will always know will be there and will work. So yeah, I wanted to make this video just to kind of show you where I'm at with my equipment, how I somewhat organize it. It basically is terrible because they all live basically on the floor over there. So it's not perfect. It's not perfect by a long shot. But it's nice. It's nice. It's nice to be able to take stuff away with me. But again, I want to discuss this with you. For those who don't follow me on Twitter, there'll be a link below. It's just at Dan Wishman. I ask a lot of questions like this. You know, what headphones do you like to use? What microphones do you use? What bags do you use? What cameras? You know, because there's a big community of field recordists and sound designers and stuff on Twitter. And I would definitely encourage you, if you're interested in this, to go and follow me on there. And you can kind of see the people who I follow and go and follow them. But it's great. It's good discussions, and I want to kind of make that discussion with you guys as well. Is let me know what bag you use. Let me know if you have a bag at all. Some, you know, I've got a lot of friends who don't. They just kind of take what they need when they need it, and that's kind of how they roll. I've just got a text. So let me know what you think. Hopefully this video proves somewhat interesting to you. I apologize if it doesn't, but I liked it. I like making it nonetheless. I'm gonna be doing more of this, so hopefully you enjoy. I'll make a video about how the H4n power system works, because it's a good one. It's a lifesaver. But yeah, let me know. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This has been Dan with GrapevineRecording, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.